Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now May 1st of 2023, and we are beginning a new month to a new start with everything, of course, getting closer to the Ahsoka Tano series, which by the way debuts in a little over 3 months from now. We still don't have a concrete release date just yet for August, but it is said to be in the middle or later point of that month, so we are going to be getting another teaser trailer or trailer, whatever have you, in June to really kind of prepare things for the fans and a lot more of going forward. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, there's a lot of things going on with Disney and Lucasfilm, given that they are right-sizing right now their upcoming projects for the current slate of Star Wars, TV shows, movies, and whatnot, and what's being produced. And we also have a lot of things, going on between the books, the novels, and the comics and video games that's going to really fill in the gaps there. But focusing on one thing that Lucasfilm is now completely shutting down has a lot to do with a specific Star Wars project that was considered to be a major project by Kathleen Kennedy herself and Leslie Headland that was going to serve as an extension of the Acolyte series that is now getting removed from the entire roadmap of the franchise, and something special is going to come in to replace it. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. So what's really engaging about this is the fact that Disney executives really put their foot on the ground and took a stand to make the right choice to get rid of a project that was prematurely greenlit that's been in limbo mode for a very long time now. So, with Lucasfilm busy working on Indy 5 and multiple Star Wars projects at once, currently they are focused on developing many upcoming Star Wars shows for Disney+. However, one in particular is shutting down. This is described to be the Acolyte spin-off show that was being led by Kathleen Kennedy and Leslie Headland that focused on a Jedi god. The series was going to be a small-scale series that Lucasfilm is now pulling the plug on. The series is now officially getting wiped from the slate of Star Wars shows that was intended to release in the beginning of 2025 that was going to feature actress Brie Larson in the ensemble cast series. A big reason why Disney decided to cancel this immediately didn't have to do with just Kathleen Kennedy, but also that Disney lately has been having issues with Brie Larson after the production of The Marvels. Brie was aimed to portray a character named Maeve, a Jedi who was created by the Wills. This story was originally going to be told in the Acolyte show itself, and was later moved to becoming a singular show that is now shutting down. Now, to make things more clear, guys, we know that the Acolyte series is a High Republic-focused series. This one was going to be one as well, but based well earlier, about 100 years before the Acolyte. Given that the Acolyte takes place more or less at the tail end of the HR era, closer to the Phantom Menace, if you want to say it like that, of course, there's a lot of things that they could have told. Now, obviously, however, am very proud that Disney took the stand and removed this and are shutting this down right now and finally getting this, finalized to remove from the roadmap and to put something else in its place for the 2024 production year. Alright, that means when they're going to begin principal photography or for a specific Star Wars TV show slot. Now, Brie Larson. Alright, as you all know, I'm not a huge fan of this actress at all. If you guys like her, hey, that's fine, but I'm not a fan of her acting skills. I'm not a fan of her view on things and everything related to different fandoms. She went as far to say that Star Wars fans are extremely toxic for not liking The Last Jedi. She said that about 3.5 years ago. And, I think that was something a little too bold to really say at the time when the fans were really divided after what happened with the sequels. But moving on to this whole situation about how Lucasfilm is shutting this down finally, something that has really been in limbo mode for a very long time. This is another prime example of Kathleen Kennedy greenlighting something well before the main thing even comes out. This was kind of similar to what she did with Rian Johnson's trilogy before The Last Jedi even debuted in theaters. You guys may recall, I believe it was in November of 2017 during that Disney earnings call, where Bob Iger unveiled Kathleen Kennedy's plans to release 3 movies by Rian Johnson. This was a whole month and a half before The Last Jedi even hit theaters. They were overconfident in the movie because I guess it was different, number 1, and number 2, they felt that Rian Johnson did the best thing with Luke, where it was the complete opposite. So, moving on to the next thing here. Alright, so it was a mixture of both Kennedy's poor choices and storytelling led by Leslie Headland, returning for the spin-off show that was going to go backwards in time during the HR era, and how Brie was chosen by both Kathy and Leslie, while Disney did not want her involved as a lead in this project. Currently, Kennedy's fighting to get Brie Larson involved in another Star Wars project if Kennedy is actually getting her 3rd show approved by Disney if things open up that she will have control over or not. That is all something that is still in discussion depending on her contract, if she ends up staying until 2024 or not, which is now fully dependent on the performance of Indy 5. Now, Project Bluepoint by Tony Gilroy is going to be taking the place of the Acolyte spin-off show for production in 2024, which focuses on various space and land battles across the galaxy and will be very Rogue One-esque. So here's the deal about this, is that we obviously know that Lucasfilm in the past tends to always make very bad decisions and very bad, mistakes. And I'm just glad that Disney really just kind of woke up here and said, you know what, we gotta pull the plug on this thing. Let's stop this, put it to a full halt, and never let it see the light of day. And you know what? That's a good decision on Bob Iger's end and the Disney executives' end. So good thing on them. I gotta give them credit for that. I really do. So there's a lot of things that will come out of this. Obviously, this gives another slot open for a show that's going to be superior. We've talked about Project Bluepoint for a while now. It's going to focus on space battles and land battles strictly, and that should be interesting because it's going to be led by Tony Gilroy with the help of Favreau and Filoni in the mix. This is the show, by the way, that's going to essentially refilm or recreate both the Battle of Endor and the Battle of Yavin in 2 dedicated episodes. We've talked about this several times, and it is something that's slowly coming together. They want to get this thing out by 2026, so we got a ways. But overall, there's a lot of great coming out of this, because I'm really not a fan of Brie Larson. And look, I'm not trying to be super negative here or pessimistic against the person, but I'm just not a fan of her acting, and I'm not a fan of her views on Star Wars fans or Marvel fans. She's really put the fans down on both ends of the fandom, and it's just best that they kind of separate their ways. Disney wants nothing to do with her lately, and there's a reasoning behind that. That's why the Marvels production was a very big disaster. It didn't really go too well, and yeah, so, I mean, good on Bob Iger, at least for really taking a stand once more and making this happen. So anyways, guys, I would like to hear what you all have to say about the Acolyte spin-off show that is now officially shutting down. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. No hiding from night to moon.